It's a symbol of sportsmanship and the character traits good sportsmanship represents: integrity, kindness, selflessness, and respect. The Musial Award represents all that is right in sports. It shines the spotlight on the people who inspire us and the moments that lift us up. A night of stories that make us smile, make us cry, and make us stand up and applaud. It's a tribute to one of our region's greatest ambassadors and one of the greatest baseball players of all time, Stan Musial. Tonight we honor Stan the man's legacy as the gateway to the West becomes the gateway to the best night in all of sports. These are the 2016 Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University and produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission.
Please welcome our host, Mike Bush.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Peabody Opera House in St. Louis for the most meaningful and inspiring night in sports. There are shows that honor the stars of screen, stage, music, and more. The Musial Awards honor the stars of sportsmanship. These are the people who uplifted us over the past year and throughout their careers with kindness, selflessness, and integrity on and off the field. Tonight, they are recognized with awards named for the ultimate good sport, Stan the Man Musial. We go to the mat to meet our first honoree, a high school wrestler who performed an extraordinary move. Not one that took down an opponent, but rather a gesture that lifted a community. Ahmed Castro-Chavez sets the tone for us tonight as we celebrate and elevate sportsmanship in America.
Nothing ever comes easy in Iowa. The crops here are usually watered with sweat. So it isn't hard to pin down why Iowans have a love affair with the sport of wrestling.
It really is a blue-collar sport, and I think that's, Iowa's a blue-collar community and state.
Big stop! Big stop!
Here, wrestling isn't just something the kids do, it's something that they live.
Being tough-minded, being resilient. And to be an Iowan, I think you have to be resilient.
18-year-old Ahmed Castro-Chavez became a wrestler at Esterville Lincoln Central High School after the head coach plucked him right out of the hallway.
And he walks over and he says, "Yeah, how about wrestling? What about it? Want to try it?" And he looks around at the guys I got standing around me and he goes, "Okay."
Well, at first when I started, I was like, wow, that was really hard. I didn't really get my first win until almost halfway through the season.
But then things began to click. Still, in the 220-pound class of the highly respected Lakes Conference, even Ahmed admits there was one wrestler in a class by himself.
His senior year, well, he became a stud.
At 6'4", 220 pounds, Spencer High School's Austin Roberts went from farm boy to the man.
There you go, he spreads out fast, gets the takedown.
My jaw dropped the first time I saw him, for sure. He was the most physically impressive high school kid I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, he just had muscles coming out of muscles.
Yet, when he wasn't in the center circle, those who knew him best describe him this way.
Kind, humble, helpful.
Big, gentle teddy bear.
The first time they wrestled, Austin beat Ahmed fairly quickly. They were scheduled to meet again in early January 2016, but just before Christmas, there was other business. They were both on hand for the Spencer Invitation. For Austin, it was a chance to improve on his 14-0 season record.
We would have put him up there with anybody in the state.
For Ahmed, when his own match was over, it was a chance to learn and admire.
I like watching a lot of #1 ranked wrestlers wrestle just because I like to, observe the moves.
In the championship of the Spencer Invitation, Austin got off to his usual strong start. But then, after a stoppage in action, something went terribly wrong.
They were coming back to the center of the mat, and he wasn't coming back.
Pretty crazy. Everybody was just standing up, looking over to see what's going on, and all you see is Austin on the floor. And
Austin had collapsed and was struggling to breathe. He was still conscious when his mom scrambled out of the stands to kneel by his side.
He looked at me and he just said, "I'm going down."
No one knew it at the time, but Austin had a heart defect. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite the best effort of trainers, paramedics, doctors, and nurses, Austin Roberts died at the age of 18.
It was just unbelievable.
With the Iowa wind, grief blew into Spencer.
The whole town felt it for sure. The wrestling community obviously took it the hardest.
It was just 3 weeks later that the Spencer wrestling team had to be back on the mat for a dual meet. Everyone knew it would be an emotional night, but nobody knew how emotional.
It's hard not to think about Austin a little bit, first time back in the gym.
And no one expected Austin's mom to be there.
I just felt like Austin would want me to do that.
That night was also the night that Austin was supposed to wrestle Ahmed again.
before everything started, we had a moment of silence for him. So it was kind of a hard night.
In honor of Austin, his teammates were on a mission.
Said every point's going to be crucial tonight, and that was a big win.
They won one match after another against Estherville until it came time for the 220-pound class.
I said, look, Ahmed, they're not going to put anybody out.
They may just forfeit this one.
Spencer would not be wrestling anyone in Austin's place, so Ahmed could take the forfeit and not only get a win, but some much-needed points for his team. Instead, Ahmed made a different point.
I wanted to show a way to show honor to the Roberts family.
Ahmed refused the win by forfeiting the match himself, and then he walked over to the grandstand.
We were sitting there and he came up and, I stood up and he gave me a great big hug and just told me that he loved Austin.
I don't think people realized at first what was happening.
And then they did.
The energy in this room was something I've never felt before or since.
The crowd stood up and I think it seemed like it was 15, 20 minutes they were clapping and on their feet.
It's kind of nice to know, that there's other people out there that saw what we saw.
Ahmed said it wasn't that big a deal, but simple things can sometimes mean everything.
I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. It was really cool to watch and see.
In Iowa, the seeds of healing have been planted.
It's always nice to show respect to everybody.
Even in the darkest type of times, there can still be a hopeful gesture.
All thanks to one young man who took a forfeit and ended up winning.
It was just the classiest thing I've seen in person.
We are grateful that Austin's mom and coach wanted to be here tonight to help us recognize Ahmed and present the Musial Award to him. They are here on stage. Please welcome Lori Roberts and Adam Gress. And from Estherville, Iowa, here's Ahmed Castro Chavez.
You can see all of tonight's honoree interviews in their entirety at MusialAwards.com and join the conversation using hashtag Musial Awards. He wanted to help and nothing would stop him, not even bullies. Up next, how a young hockey player is teaching us an old lesson about loyalty and friendship. And later, the pinnacle honor at the Musial Awards will be given to a Baseball Hall of Famer who did things the right way, the Ripken way.
Maryville University is honored to be the presenting sponsor of the Musial Awards. As fans of Stan the Man, we're grateful to have the chance to celebrate his legacy through this inspiring event. We're also proud that the Musials serve as a powerful platform to promote kindness, selflessness, and civility. So on behalf of Maryville University, one of the 10 fastest growing universities in the United States, enjoy the Musial Awards, one of the great nights in all of sports.
Now, the stories of sportsmanship we highlight here at the Musial Awards often have common threads like compassion, generosity, and selflessness. Our next honoree adds another virtue to the mix, loyalty. Check out the lengths a young hockey player from Dallas went to support a friend. Finding 11-year-old Charlie Wilson takes just a short time.
Let's go, Charlie!
He's the one with the long hair.
Skate, Charlie!
The hair covers his neck, but not his love for hockey.
He's getting better, and he really loves playing.
And you have a favorite hockey team?
Yes.
What's that?
Dallas Stars.
If he's not playing, he loves to be watching his Stars. Tonight he's hoping to see a lot of goals, but Charlie himself was recently credited with an assist. It started back in the first grade when he met his classmate Libby Serber.
He came to me and sat with me at lunch, and we played at recess together.
But by the next year, Charlie noticed that there was something wrong.
Every day, she kept going to the nurse's office.
She had a low-grade fever, and I wouldn't go away.
After dozens of tests, Libby's parents got the devastating diagnosis. She had a Wilms tumor, cancer of the kidney.
I think it's probably the worst feeling because you're not in any control at all.
It wasn't scary because I didn't really understand it all, but I didn't feel good.
Libby was still undergoing chemotherapy when she finally returned to school, having lost her beautiful red hair. Charlie, just 7 at the time, felt a little sick himself.
And I asked my mom, what can I do to help? And she said, donate my hair.
So for the next 2 years, as Charlie grew, so did his hair.
I go, well, how long is it going to be? And it's going to be like 10 inches, and I think, it's a lot of hair.
He wanted to donate to Locks of Love, the nonprofit that provides hair pieces to kids who lose their hair because of cancer. But Charlie suffered more than his share of growing pains.
I remember one day I asked kids if I can play football with them. They said no, because we don't play with girls.
That would cause some kids to quit. Charlie is not one of those kids.
I just knew if Libby can go through some pain, I can go through some pain too.
Well, Libby kept getting better, and things were about to get a whole lot better for Charlie. He had this dream of making his donation after getting his hair cut by a player on his favorite team. It turns out that one of Charlie's assistant coaches has a connection to the Dallas Stars, and when the Stars found out, they wanted to make Charlie a star.
I'm Tyler Sagan of the Dallas Stars. This is Jamie, and we're gonna go get Charlie. Let's go. Jamie, what's up, man? How you doing? You got to miss school today? Yeah, why'd your mom let you do that?
Charlie Sagan and Jamie Benn were already Charlie's favorite players, and they were about to make this day the favorite of his young life.
hop up in this seat. It's a hot seat.
All right, guys, a little story about these two. This is Charlie and Libby. Well, Libby had a form of cancer, and Charlie decided to grow out his hair, and you know, today we're gonna cut it off, and he's gonna make a wig out of it. But you know, he had a couple tough times at school, and he stood up for his friend Libby, and you know, decided to keep growing his hair. And I think that's you know, a loyal friend, and you know, I think we can all learn from Charlie as a loyal friend and a teammate. So you know, today he's gonna be a Dallas Star, and he's gonna come on the bench and practice with us, and you know, we're gonna make him feel at home. Here it goes. Ah, a little noise.
Look at that, all doing all that.
To him, these are his heroes. You know, he got to hang out with them and chit-chat.
You a power play guy? Yeah, front?
The experience only lasted 90 minutes or so, but it was something Charlie could remember forever.
And I remember when we left, finally, we get in our car, I turned around and I said, "What just happened?" And he goes, "Mom, am I dreaming?"
Libby is now cancer-free and performing in school plays. And after having short hair for a while, Charlie is growing it out again.
Well, I know there's always one more kid in the world to help.
One young boy standing out, not because of the hair on his head, but because of what's in his heart.
He really, really cares.
Our thanks tonight to the St. Louis Blues, who despite having a game tonight, still cared enough to be here and represented at the Musial Awards, and they wanted to be part of this presentation to Charlie. Please welcome Joel Edmondson. And from Frisco, Texas, here is Charlie Wilson.
She's a four-time Olympic gold medalist and one of women's basketball's greatest players. Still to come, how she's also been a force off the court. And later, the unexpected friendship that struck a chord with millions. The Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University, sponsored by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, we are family. And Maryville University, many connections, one you at maryville.edu.
Tonight's show will culminate with the presentation of the Musial Lifetime Achievement Award, one of two special honors bestowed at the Musial Awards. The other is the Musial Award for Extraordinary Character.
This year's recipient, a four-time Olympic gold medalist and one of women's basketball's greatest players. Tamika Catchings caught our attention this summer as she wrapped up a stellar WNBA career. In her 16th and final season with the Indiana Fever, she put a selfless twist on her farewell tour. Normally, athletes of her caliber are celebrated with ceremonies, speeches, and gifts in each city where they make their last appearance. But the 11-time All-Star opted to forego the pomp and circumstance and instead used the opportunity to give back. At each stop, she presented a $2,000 grant to a local charity and hosted a post-game meet and greet with fans. She is the real deal, a star who is grounded in grace, generosity, and perseverance. She is the embodiment of extraordinary character.
And the recipient of the 2016 Musial Award for Extraordinary Character from Indianapolis, Tamika Catchings. So you've been to St. Louis a few times. Your brother lives here, right?
Yes, he does. They're over here. Actually, my brother and my little nephew. Hey, guys.
That's great. So give me an idea of where this heart came from, because It seems 2 sizes bigger than a lot of people's.
Well, we were very blessed. Our father actually played in the NBA for 11 seasons, and I just remember as young kids, my mom and dad made sure that we always went out. And Christmas, we had to give away our toys, which we didn't appreciate at all at a young age. And then for Thanksgiving, you know, giving out turkeys. And so my love of being able to give back started there. But then when I went to the University of Tennessee, Pat Summitt, the greatest coach ever, yeah. She always talked about we weren't only going to be great on the basketball court, but we were going to be great in the classroom and even better in the community. And so just being great people overall. And literally from there, my love for helping kind of got reignited. And then when I got to the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis, it was kind of the same thing, just wanting to always give back.
I think what people may forget with all your accomplishments, because you've accomplished so much, is that you had to overcome a big challenge, which was hearing impairment.
Yeah, I was born with a hearing problem, and my brother and I both. There's 3 of us, so my older brother has a hearing problem. My sister, I call her the perfect one because there's nothing wrong with her. And then me. But so I got made fun of a lot growing up, and literally just remember never wanting to go back to school and almost wanting to be invisible. And I think there's a lot of kids that are struggling to find their identity, and for me, it wasn't in my hearing aid. I threw them out when I was in, 2nd grade and vowed that I would never wear hearing aids again. But eventually when I got to Tennessee, Pat got me back into wearing hearing aids. And, really being able to know that one day I would make a difference and that I would become that role model, be that voice for those kids that struggle like I did when I was young.
So can I ask you what it means to be here tonight?
It's awesome. It's truly an honor, and to be able to get an award for Stan the Man, it's cool.
It's an award for extraordinary character, and Tamika, you're it. So thank you very much for being here.
Straight ahead, if you think baseball is just a game, you haven't seen one of these games. The man who gave some special kids a league of their own. Share a remarkable act of sportsmanship or everyday kindness using the hashtag #MusialMoment. In celebrating and elevating sportsmanship, the Musial Awards honor those who keep winning and losing in perspective, like Little League coach Joel Jensen, who on a visit to the mound at the Little League World Series said to his son, "I just came out to tell you how much I love you." Hayes and Tammy Stripling, who went out of their way to thank Dodgers manager Dave Roberts for looking out for their son after the LA skipper made a controversial move to lift pitcher Ross Stripling in the midst of a no-hitter. And Minnesota first grade teachers Judy Offerdahl, Sarah Myrie, and Shelby Baker. When a missed field goal eliminated the Vikings from the playoffs, they instilled a lesson in empathy and civility as they asked their students to write letters of encouragement to kicker Blair Walsh. Hear what the first graders wrote and see these entire stories told at MusialAwards.com. The Musial Awards also salute Briarcliff University basketball coach Nick Nelson, this year's winner of the NAIA All That's Right in Sport Award. And American tennis player Jack Sock, who won gold and bronze at the Rio Olympics and was responsible for one of the more entertaining moments of sportsmanship in 2016. Up 5-4 in the first set against Leighton Hewitt in Australia's Hopman Cup, a Hewitt serve was called out by the linesman. Sock thought otherwise, and to everyone's disbelief, he shouted to Hewitt to challenge it. Later, Baseball Hall of Famer Cal Ripken comes to the stage to receive the Pinnacle Award at the Musials for Lifetime Achievement. Follow the Musial Awards on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the web. You can also nominate a remarkable act of sportsmanship and see all of this year's inspiring stories at MusialAwards.com. Welcome back to the Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University and produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission.
Now, staying true to the Musial Awards' roots in St. Louis, we always spotlight a local individual among our national honorees. This year, we recognize a St. Louisan whose labor of love creates joy and opportunity for hundreds of baseball players. For more than 2 decades, Buck Smith and Challenger Baseball Buck Smith and Challenger Baseball have put the principles of sportsmanship to work to make magic on the diamond.
There you go. Good hit. Good hit. Good hit. Good job.
On this St. Louis ball field, you can tell the winners before the game is ever played.
Chris Gardner.
All right, Chris, have a good game, buddy.
It's the Challenger Baseball League All-Star Game.
It's a big, big night for us.
Every player in this league is an all-star, and every one of them is up to a challenge.
We have kids with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, a lot of kids with autism.
Line the ball. There you go.
High five. That's right. All right, let's.
The league was started by 56-year-old Buck Smith, who wanted to go to bat for kids with disabilities.
Huge heart, just a giving, amazing person.
He had an idea, put an ad in the paper, and as all baseball lovers know, if you build it, they will come.
We start off with 14 kids on the field running around in winter coats, and before you know it, they really liked it.
Now, 23 years later, there are 66 teams all over the bi-state and over 800 players.
This is 10-year-old Hannah Lauer's first year in the league.
Hannah and all the other kids that are out here, they're getting an opportunity to really feel like a part of a team.
There you go. Hannah's got a hit.
Hannah has Down syndrome and determination. When she's not being like Willie Mays' baseball's Say Hey Kid, she's the Karate Kid. And her strength comes not from her muscles, but her spirit.
When she does something, when she accomplishes something, she gets really excited about it.
After playing ball in a regular league for 3 years, the family sat down and decided to look for something different. Instead of just trying to fit in, they wanted a place for Hannah to stand out.
How about it, Leo?
Now, on game days, she puts her uniform on as soon as she wakes up.
Good hit, Leo.
In the Challenger League, each player is paired up with an able-bodied buddy.
My buddy, I usually help in the field to know where to go and where to throw the ball. And
Matthew Andrews and his sister Elizabeth have a cousin with autism. So when they heard about Challenger Baseball, they volunteered.
High five! It's a great way to make friends, and it's a great way to give back to your community while having fun at the same time.
There you go. He's going to take it anyway. Good job.
Buck Smith has also done some editing to the baseball rule book.
We don't count outs, we don't count runs. Everybody bats every inning.
There it is. Good job.
13-year-old Tarika Williams has been swinging for the fences since she was in kindergarten, but she was never supposed to be here. She was a shaken baby, badly injured when she was just 2 weeks old.
We were told she was not going to be able to walk, talk, speak, or feed herself.
But like a lot of these kids, she persevered. And on this field, home run power is nothing compared to willpower.
And what do you think it's done for her?
Gave her confidence, made her feel like she was a part of a team.
Those who think baseball is just a game haven't watched one of these games.
He got a hit. Good job.
I can't tell you how many parents have come up to me and said, I just wish my son or daughter had a friend. And now out here, friendships start.
It makes me emotional because I just know that she's having a great time.
Yeah! Nice shot, Terry.
One man's home run for kids, offering them friendship, understanding, and a field of dreams come true.
It's the most important thing I've ever done. And it's also the most fun.
A testament to Buck's impact in our community, there are 200 people in attendance from Challenger Baseball. They're here to help us salute Buck, and they're represented by the athletes and volunteers on stage who will present the Musial Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Buck Smith.
It was just lunch, but it turned out to be so much more. Ahead, the picture that went viral and a lesson in friendship. The Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University, sponsored by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, we are family. And Maryville University, many connections, one you at maryville.edu. Musial Awards travel provided by Southwest Airlines.
Among the many things we loved about Stan Musial was the kindness he showed to everyone. Didn't matter who you were, he made you feel good. He made you feel special. That simple decency can be seen in our next honoree, whose own gesture of kindness touched so many around the nation. Florida State football standout Travis Rudolph showed how simple decency can make an enormous impact.
Let's go, Noles! Let's go, Noles!
In Tallahassee, Florida, fall Saturdays have their own rhythm.
Let's go, Noles!
The beat comes from the heart because of a love for football. And one of the players that can always get the heart racing for these fans is number 15, Travis Rudolph. Just a junior, he's already considered one of the best wide receivers in the country. He chose Florida State in part because of its great tradition.
It was the best school for me, on and off the field.
Rudolph is soft-spoken and, by all accounts, cordial and kind. The kind of guy who wants to give back to his community.
It was a few days before Florida State's season opener against Ole Miss that a few members of the team visited Montfort Middle School.
FSU has a fantastic program where they send the student athletes out into the local schools to visit and hang out with the kids.
Leah Paskey's 11-year-old son, Bo, goes to Montfort Middle. He's been mainstream since he was young, despite being diagnosed at age 3 with autism.
It was a devastating blow, where the doctor tells you, that he won't ever hold a job, that he won't ever play team sports, that he won't ever be able to live by himself.
But Bo never stops trying. And he never stops loving.
He is the most loving, affectionate child I've ever met.
And so it was fate that introduced Travis Rudolph to Bo Paskey. It happened in the cafeteria where all the kids were having lunch.
When Bo started here at Montfort, his mom asked me to watch over him.
Deputy Sheriff Michael Halligan is also the school resource officer, and he saw, as usual, that Bo was sitting at a table alone. But he wasn't the only one to notice.
I was very hungry at the time, so I grabbed a couple of slices of pizza, and I saw Bo sitting there by himself, so I asked him, can I have a sit?
When he saw me sitting by myself, he said, hey, can I sit down with you? And I said, sure, why not?
And he asked me if I play in the NFL, and I told him no, not yet.
The deputy saw this all happen in front of him and decided to capture the moment.
And I thought it'd be a great time to send a picture to Bo's mom to let her know that, hey, a famous FSU football player is sitting next to Bo.
And so I just actually immediately was overcome with emotion that, because in the picture, I know you've seen it, he's the only one at the table. All the other kids are kind of far away. And this star of the Florida State football team is sitting with my child eating lunch.
Neither Leah nor Bo nor Travis had any idea what would happen after Leah posted the picture on Facebook.
Been in tears over the story this morning. Let's put the photo up and let me explain it to you.
The photo you see here captures a moment of remarkable kindness.
Yeah, middle schooler Bo Paskey went to the game against Ole Miss Monday night. Florida State University wide receiver Travis Rudolph.
Leah started getting messages from, as she says, people in every country she's ever heard of. And they were all saying, thank you.
Thank you for sharing this message. Thank you for sending this message. Maybe now my son won't sit alone in the cafeteria. Maybe now my child won't have to worry about being left out.
You're known all over the world. What do you think of that?
It was awesome.
Get my picture with this champ right here.
And now, instead of being alone, Bo isn't left alone anytime he comes to an FSU football game.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
He's happy to take pictures and give hugs.
Hi, Bo. How are you?
No one is a stranger, but Travis remains Bo's hero.
He's a great football all-star.
If I'm his hero, then hats off to him. He's my hero, too.
The story of Travis Rudolph on the field is still being written, but the story of what he did off the field is already a bestseller.
So it really ended up being a message of inclusion and love and maybe being a little kinder to people.
Everybody is very unique in their own specific way, so treat everybody the same. And you never know, one little gesture like that could change somebody's life forever.
It's the friendships you least expect that end up meaning the most.
Now I'm a fan for life now.
Now, the Florida State Seminoles played at Syracuse today, so Travis, understandably, could not be in attendance, but we do have two special guests here to accept the Musial on his behalf. We're thrilled they could be with us, Bo and Leah Paskey. How's that award feel?
Well, right about now, it's very heavy, you know?
And before you go, so this award is for Travis, but you guys have shown great courage. So Mark Lombardi has something for you guys. We have your own Musial Award. So now you got to hold two, Bo.
Straight ahead, the Musial Award for Lifetime Achievement.
Not only will I need that energy, but I'm going to need a lot more noise.
I've seen a lot of things in professional sports, but never in my life have I seen anything like this.
All you have to do is come out here on any given weekend, and we'll have a bunch of kids out here. They all are wearing their baseball uniforms. They're playing in a tournament. Just ask them what they think about Cal.
A guy that broke Lou Gehrig's record. A guy that didn't take any games off.
If you go to any of the Cal Ripken baseball camps, which I've been to a few, you can see his influence and how important it is to him that kids learn how to play the game the right way.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is the pinnacle honor bestowed at the Musial Awards. It recognizes an iconic sports figure who embodies sportsmanship and the virtues synonymous with Stan the Man. We're honored to have the Musial family to present the award to Cal. From Stan the Man to the Iron Man, Musial set the standard, Ripken lives up to it. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the 2016 Stan Musial Lifetime Achievement Award for Sportsmanship, Cal Ripken Jr. I was talking to a major leaguer, and he told me that there are two streaks that will never be broken in baseball. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak and your consecutive game streak. Take us through that. As you look back at that now, can you believe that actually happened?
No, if you're sitting in my chair right now, I think, okay, if I can do it, why couldn't somebody else do it? And many people ask for the secret as if there is one. And I think the best thing that I could say is it's in between the ears. It's a mindset. It's proving to yourself that you have the capability to do something. And what I mean by that is by playing 162, and that's one full season of not missing a game, and finishing strong in the month of September, you've proved to yourself that you could do it. And then it's just a matter of keeping that same approach going forward.
I know young people are in your heart since you retired that are very important to you. Give me an idea about that and the lessons that you try to teach them.
My brother Billy and I thought we had the encyclopedia of baseball as a dad, and I think we did by most standards, and we wanted to pass that on. And so we were getting behind all the teachings that Dad had, and we were going to expand upon those teachings and give the kids all the information and have them fulfill some of their dreams and take their talent as far as they could go. We instruct them to play the game in a very fundamental sense, but there's also a way of how you handle yourself. So we're trying to keep that sportsmanship message alive with our kids, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. And we're trying to give them experiences where they'll love the game a little bit more.
So what does this night mean to you?
I was thinking about that a little earlier, sitting in my seat, and you really start thinking about your dad, and you start thinking about the influences. You start to think about the magnitude of baseball and the love of the baseball that you have, and how principles and values are passed down. So this award really touches my heart, because it connects me with Dad. Just as fathers and sons and talk about baseball and it goes down in the generations, that's how I feel.
And how about another big round of applause for Mr. Cal Ripken?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank
you. You can see the entire interview at MusialAwards.com. Follow the Musial Awards on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on the web. You can also nominate a remarkable act of sportsmanship and see all of this year's inspiring stories at MusialAwards.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the recipients of the 2016 Musial Awards. And there you have it. On behalf of the St. Louis Sports Commission, thank you for joining us for the Musial Awards presented by Maryville University. Good night from the Peabody Opera House in downtown St. Louis.